Welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're tackling a really interesting text. It's called The Gift of Wisdom.
hmm
Some of you might actually know it by its older title, The Manual for Teachers.
That's right. And it's important to say up front, this isn't really introductory stuff.
Yeah.
It's geared towards people who are already kind of resonating with this idea of living a more soul-based life.
Right. Already on that path.
Exactly. Our source for this deep dive is Chapter 8, Intro plus February from that work.
Yep.
And it lays out this structured month-by-month journey. It's about understanding how to live from that deeper level, the soul level.
Like a curriculum almost.
Yeah, kind of. Think of it like a year-long course, you know? 12 sections, one for each month.
Focusing on a different aspect of wisdom.
Precisely. A specific strand each month with daily entries. It even accounts for leap years, which is quite detailed.
Okay, so structured daily reflections.
Yeah.
But you mentioned a twist earlier, or maybe the author calls it a key insight.
Yes, exactly. This is really central. The idea is that your soul, or, well, what some people call God, and we can get into that connection, is actually communicating as you, like from within you, as your true self.
Okay, wait, so not just to me, but as me.
That's the core concept. It's
Yeah.
informing your brain specifically about love through these daily affirmations tailored to whatever that month's theme is.
That's a significant shift in perspective.
It really is, because it moves beyond just, intellectually believing you have a soul
Right.
to really knowing deep down that you are a soul, experientially.
And that's not just playing with words.
No, not at all. It changes how you see everything, yourself, the world. It suggests your fundamental nature is, well, divine.
And the ego.
The ego, with all its fears and worries, becomes more like a temporary overlay, maybe a noisy tenant sometimes.
Okay, I see. And for this first month we're looking at, February, the focus is quite tangible.
It is. It's consideration for the body.
Yeah. So we're starting this exploration by looking at our physical selves, but through this soul-centric lens.
Exactly. And the text kicks off with an image most people know, the body as a temple.
Right. Pretty common analogy.
But it expands on it quickly. It emphasizes it's not just a temple for the ego, for its fleeting desires.
Okay, so what's it a temple for then?
It's intended as a sanctuary for the soul. Ultimately, a dwelling place for that divine essence we just talked about.
That changes how you treat it, I suppose.
Absolutely. Think about how you'd care for a space you genuinely considered sacred versus, just some container.
Now, this idea of a divine source having many names, many expressions, that pops up in different places.
It does. But this text pushes it further. It proposes that each one of us, each individual soul, is a unique expression, a unique manifestation of that source.
Yeah.
It even gives examples like Jesus, Mary, Elizabeth, Juan.
So infinite variety, like facets of a diamond.
Kind of like that, yeah. An infinite tapestry of the divine, expressing itself in countless unique ways through each of us.
And what's really fascinating is how the text links this expression to, well, to how long we live.
Yes, that's a key point. It suggests that when our expression is mainly ego-driven,
Yeah.
Fueled by fear separation,
Yeah.
it can actually put stress on the physical body, potentially shorten its lifespan.
Wow, okay.
Whereas a blend of ego and soul might lead to a longer life, but pure soul expression characterized by love, by connection, that's presented as the most harmonious state, the most life-sustaining, really, much gentler on our physical form, although it notes pure soul expression is quite rare.
So based on this view, what's the body's fundamental purpose? Feels like it must be more than just, daily transport.
Oh, definitely. The body is seen as the actual instrument for the growth of this divine essence within us.
Growth through expression.
Exactly. Growth through expressing love out in the world. And that expression is facilitated by both our body and our mind.
But there's a challenge, isn't there? The text mentions the body's sort of default programming.
Right. The inherent challenge is that the body's initial setup, you could say, is geared towards self-preservation, survival.
Which often comes across as fear.
Precisely. Fear is often the default, the opposite of that unconditional love the soul represents.
That makes sense from a biological standpoint, our survival instincts.
Yeah.
So how does the shift happen? How do we move from that fear default towards love?
Well, the text suggests that life's challenges, the difficulties we face, They act as catalysts.
Prompts?
Yeah, prompts. They push us to choose love over fear. And these decision points, whether we're fully conscious of them or not,
Mm-hmm.
they're happening inside every single person, all the time, regardless of age, gender expression, background. It's this constant internal negotiation.
A dance between fear and love.
That's a good way to put it.
So how does the gift of wisdom fit into helping with that dance? It sounds like you don't just pick it up and read it casually.
No, definitely not. The guidance given is pretty specific. It suggests that people should ideally work through a related text first, called Steps to Authenticity. After completing that, the recommendation is to start the gift of wisdom on whatever the current calendar date is.
Right. Start where you are.
Exactly. And the idea is that the affirmations for each month build on the ones before. It's a gradual process.
Leading towards this gift of wisdom.
Yes, at the end of a 2-year cycle, apparently. The overall goal is to quiet down that busy, often anxious, ego-driven mind
Mm-hmm.
and sort of retrain it. Retrain it to be a receptive tool for the soul's wisdom instead.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's dig into some of those February affirmations themselves.
Yeah.
They really focus on this relationship between I am, which, okay, represents the soul here and the body.
Right.
The first one's pretty straightforward.
Right.
I am seeks to express itself through the body.
Yeah, that really sets the stage for the whole month. It stresses that the soul isn't some, detached observer.
It wants to be involved.
It has a genuine desire to manifest, to experience life through our physical being.
Now, the next one adds a layer. How I am expresses varies from body to body.
Which makes total sense, right? Look at the sheer diversity of people.
Absolutely.
And the affirmation right after that elaborates on why. It points to things like personality, temperament, or natural talents, aptitudes,
Uh-huh.
all influencing how the soul shows up in different people. It's like different musical instruments.
Each playing the same tune but sounding unique.
Exactly. Same melody, but distinct timbre and range.
Then we hit a really foundational statement. I am you, the real you.
Mm-hmm. Powerful.
That slams home that core idea we talked about. We are this soul. We don't just have one.
Precisely. And that connects directly to how the soul then interacts via our physical form. The next affirmation is, I am responds with love through the body.
And that's contrasted with.
The ego reacts with fear through the body.
Okay, so it's highlighting these two fundamental ways of operating within us.
Yeah, and how they manifest physically, in our feelings, our actions.
So our gut feelings, our physical reactions, they could actually be indicators, telling us if we're coming from soul or ego.
That seems to be the implication, yes. The text then goes on to talk about our perception of connection, or lack thereof.
How so?
It says, the body makes me feel separate and alone, or united, and together with other bodies.
Ah, so our physical experience can either amplify that sense of isolation,
Right.
or it can foster a feeling of being connected with everyone else.
Exactly. It shapes that experience.
And how does just the experience of having a body help us figure out who we truly are on a deeper level?
Well, one affirmation puts it like this. Having the experience of being a character with a body is designed to help me find my true identity.
So the limitations, the specific experiences of being physical.
Yeah, they serve as a kind of backdrop, a contrast that helps us recognize our true nature, which the text implies is boundless by comparison.
Okay, here's one that sounds a bit puzzling at first. The body has helped my soul to hide outside of you. What does that mean?
I think it speaks to that common feeling, doesn't it? Feeling disconnected from our spiritual core.
Like God or the soul is somewhere else?
Yeah. Our intense focus on the physical world, on external stuff, appearances, worries. Sometimes that can completely overshadow our awareness of that divine presence within.
Right, which leads perfectly into the next one. God is not outside of the body. God activates the body and waits for acknowledgement.
Mm-hmm. So the divine isn't far away, it's right here. It's what's animating us, essentially, waiting for us to notice.
Waiting for us to turn inward.
Seems so. Then the text gets really practical about physical care, but from the soul perspective.
Like,
Affirmations like, I am will tell you what your body needs in terms of food and exercise, and I am will prompt you to move or feed your body if you allow it to do so.
suggesting an innate wisdom about our basic physical needs.
Yes, an inner guidance system.
And this inner guidance,
Yeah.
it might not always line up with, say, the latest health fad or doctor's advice.
Exactly. The affirmations state that explicitly. I am may agree with secular advice about the body's needs at times,
Okay.
but also I am may disagree with secular advice about the body's needs at times.
So it really emphasizes listening inwardly.
Deeply. Listening to your body means listening to I am. That's a direct quote. The soul, it says, activates the body and knows how to care for it.
What are bigger health concerns, though? Does it just say ignore doctors?
No, no, it addresses that. It acknowledges there are times when I am may prompt you to obtain medical advice and care.
Okay, so it's not anti-medicine.
Not at all. But it adds a layer of discernment. It also says there are times when I am may ask for space to conduct its own evaluation before any action on your part is requested.
So listen inward first, maybe. Then seek external help if prompted.
It suggests a kind of balance, yeah, honoring both inner knowing and external expertise when appropriate.
Then the discussion moves to things like vaccinations, preventative measures. That can be a tricky area.
It can. The text offers a specific view here. It states, things like vaccinations help to prevent the spread of disease in the populace.
So a public health perspective.
Seems like it initially. But then it adds this layer about individual susceptibility. It talks about an emerging soul being very susceptible to contagious disease, while a dominant soul is less so.
Emerging versus dominant soul. That sounds like a whole other topic.
It does, and it's not fully unpacked here. But the text then brings it back to practicality, saying most don't know the dominance level of their souls, so taking the February 19 truth about prevention into consideration is valuable.
So acknowledging a deeper energetic aspect, but recommending practical caution for most people.
That's how it reads, yes. A blend of metaphysics and pragmatism.
It's also interesting how it links thoughts and illness.
Right. The body can become sick from ordinary thoughts that are self-blaming in nature.
That mind-body connection again.
Very much so. And then it reframes sickness itself. Instead of seeing it as just bad luck or a failure,
Yeah.
it says, when the body becomes sick, it is a reminder from your true self, your soul, to take it easy.
Like a message.
A gentle nudge, perhaps? It reinforces that taking it easy on your body is in alignment with I am. It's not a punishment, it's guidance.
Okay. Then the affirmations circle back to the soul's fundamental nature, which is love.
Yes. Things like, I am loves being you,
That's lovely.
isn't it? And I am loves all the things you love, and even I am understands things the character doesn't love.
So it paints a picture of a soul that's deeply personally involved in our lives.
Yeah.
Our likes, our dislikes.
Fully engaged. And then finally, for those leap years, there's that special February 29th affirmation.
What does that one say?
The body is a symbol of unity between the divine and the mortal.
Wow. That really ties the whole month's theme together beautifully.
It does. The body as the meeting point, the place where our earthly experience and our spiritual essence merge.
So summing up this whole February exploration from the gift of wisdom,
Yeah,
it offers a really profound way to see our bodies, doesn't it?
absolutely. It shifts the view from the body being just a machine or even just a temple in a passive sense to seeing it as an active, dynamic instrument of divine expression, fundamentally guided by love, intimately connected to our deepest self.
Not just a vehicle, but a partner in a way.
A partner in expression, yeah. And these daily affirmations are presented as the practice, the way you can consciously align with that understanding.
A way to retrain the mind.
Retrain the mind to listen.
Yeah.
Listen to that inherent wisdom of the soul, especially in how it guides the care of this physical temple.
Which leaves us, and you listening, with a really potent question to reflect on, I think. Given all these insights, how might your relationship with your own body and with that quiet inner voice, how might that begin to shift?
Yeah, it's an invitation, isn't it?
It really is. Maybe an invitation to see your body less as something just to be managed or disciplined, and more as well as a sacred vessel.
A vessel for the divine to express itself as you.
And maybe to become more aware, moment by moment, of that internal choice point. The text highlights the choice between operating from fear or from the love that it says resides right there within you. Definitely something to reflect on. Thanks for diving deep with us today.